Hello most amazing fam, I'm Abby.
And I'm Lucy.
And Lucy's here from over on Top 5 Scary and BTS.
Yes. If you're a fan of all things horror, be sure to click over here for Top 5 Scary. And if you're a fan of all things movies, make sure you click over here for Top 10 Beyond the Screen. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Yes. She is joining us for today's video, Top 10 Most Feared Cities in the World. Cities can be feared for a variety of reasons, from violence to ghosts and to history.
So today let's talk about 10 that people fear and get right into it.
Alright, leave.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. So this list starts off at number 10 with Los Cabos, Mexico. So Los Cabos is starting off this list because of its high homicide rate. In 2017, the city had a population of 328,245 people and reported a total of 365 homicides. That's 111.33 homicides per every 100,000 people. And that number is high, especially for a popular tourist destination. Resort towns don't usually see as high levels of violence, but Los Cabos seems to be the exception. While cartels avoided carrying out violence in the popular vacation cities before, there was a 500% increase between 2016 and 2017 in violence. Human rights advocates and defenders, journalists, and low-level drug dealers were the ones murdered in greater numbers. The violence of inter-cartel feuding and the want for control of the area typically doesn't have an effect on tourists who are there for a soak in the sun, but I would definitely check travel advisories before I booked my next vacation.
Coming in at 9, Caracas, Venezuela. Caracas is the capital and largest city of Venezuela and the metropolitan region of Caracas. Venezuela and its capital, Caracas, are reported to both have among the highest per capita murder rates in the world. Caracas is the city with the highest homicide rate in the world outside of a war zone, with a 2016 rate of around 120 murders per 100,000 people. Most murders and violent crimes go unsolved, with the estimates of the number of unresolved crimes as high as 98%. The US Department of State and British Foreign and Commonwealth Office have issued travel warnings for Venezuela, particularly Caracas, due to high rates of crime. Outside of its whopping crime rate, Caracas has been considered one of the most important cultural, tourist, industrial, and economic centers of Latin America, with the Museum of Contemporary Art of Caracas being one of the most important in South America.
At number 8, we have Chernobyl. Unlike others on the list, this city isn't feared because of criminal fears, but you still shouldn't go there. On April 26, 1986, there was a nuclear accident at the number 4 reactor in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The explosion killed 2 workers and the accident took the lives of 31 people overall. Due to it being a nuclear power plant explosion, it caused radioactive debris of fuel and reactor components to fly out and rain over the surrounding area. While that happened, a fire spread as well as toxic fumes and dust. To this day, there's a 1,000 square mile exclusion zone that is restricted from the public. Only scientists and government officials can go because of the worry of the effects of lingering radiation. While people have been away, pictures show that nature has been thriving though, and after this show by the same name came out, the outskirts of the inclusion zone of Chernobyl have seen visitors more frequently.
Coming in at 7, San Pedro Sula, Honduras. San Pedro Sula is the capital of Cortes Department, Honduras, with a population of 661,190 in the central urban area and 1.4 million in its metropolitan area in 2019. It is the nation's primary industrial center and second largest city. At one point in time, San Pedro Sula was the murder capital of the world up until 2016 when Caracas surpassed its homicide rate. In 2013, the city had 187 homicides per 100,000 residents, and according to the LA Times, the homicide rate is stoked by the rivalry of the brutal street gangs, mostly descendants of gangs formed in LA and deported to Central America in the 1990s, including Mara Salvatrucha and the 18th Street Gang. Their ranks are fed by the disastrous economy of Honduras and emboldened more recently by alliances with the Mexican drug traffickers moving cocaine through their country. Overall, arms trafficking is a huge problem and illegal firearms are prevalent throughout the city, in turn making it a city tourists should avoid at all costs.
Number 6, Montego Bay, Jamaica. So reggae isn't the only thing to come out of Jamaica. A high homicide rate is there too, unfortunately. Killings in the city are mainly related to lottery scams and gangs, according to city officials. The lottery scams are advanced fee fraud scams, if you are wondering. It was written in the Jamaican Gleaner that in 2017, the country had 1,616 murders, and 335 took place in the parish of St. James alone. Montego Bay is located within that parish. The Prime Minister of Jamaica himself declared a state of emergency in that region because of the violence. Although guns and ammunition aren't manufactured in Jamaica, they are the the weapon of choice in most of the murders. If you currently have a vacation booked there, the most common advice is just to stay on resort grounds.
Coming in at 5, Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi is the capital city of the Pakistani province of Sindh. It is also the most populous city in Pakistan and 5th most populous city proper in the world. Though the Karachi region has been inhabited for millennia, the city was founded as the fortified village of Karachi in 1729. The settlement drastically increased in importance upon the arrival of British East Indian Company in the mid-19th century, who not only embarked on major works to transform the city into a major seaport, but also connected it with their extensive railway network. Often stated to be amongst the world's most dangerous cities, with the Number Crime Index 2014 ranking Karachi as the 6th most dangerous city in the world. However, by the middle of 2016 its rank dropped to 31 following the launch of anti-crime operations. The city's large population results in high numbers of homicides with a moderate homicide rate. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Karachi was rocked by political conflict, with crime rates drastically increasing with the arrival of weaponry from the war in Afghanistan. Several of Karachi's criminal mafias became powerful during a period in the 1990s described as the rule of mafia. Karachi's highest death rates occurred in the mid-1990s when Karachi was much smaller, and in 1995 1,742 killings were recorded. As of right now, Pakistan has experienced a great deal of unrest, particularly politically, as well as crime and terrorism. Assassinations are common, as well as suicide bombings and gang warfare.
At number 4, we have Salem, Massachusetts. When I say Salem, I'm guessing that you are hearing witch trials in your head. We've talked about Salem quite a bit in the past, but let me give you a quick refresher. The witch trials took place between February 1692 and May of 1693. Hundreds of people in Salem were persecuted because they were believed to be witches. The trials were unfair, and the fear that radiated through the town caused people to hide and lie for fear that something they did would make them appear to be a witch. 78% of the accused and 95% of those killed were women. One girl, Dorothy Good, was 4 or 5 years old when she was accused of witchcraft. One method of telling if someone was a witch was a swimming test where a woman was bound and then thrown into the water. If she floated, she was a witch because of the magic that let her float, and if she sank, she was innocent. Problem is, a bunch of innocent people accidentally drowned before they could be rescued.
Coming in at number 3, KOLMANSKOP, Namibia. KOLMANSKOP is a ghost town in the Namib in southern Namibia, which was named after a transport driver named Johnny Coleman, who during a sandstorm abandoned his ox wagon on a small incline opposite the settlement. In 1908, the worker Zacharias Luala found a diamond while working in this area and showed it to his supervisor. The German railway inspector August Stauch, quickly realizing the area was rich with diamonds, German miners began settlement, and soon after the German Empire began to exploit the diamond field. As most would be, they became driven by the enormous wealth of the first diamond miners. The residents built the village with amenities including a hospital, ballroom, power station, school, theatre, casino, and even an X-ray station. However, the town began to hit a decline during World War II, with the diamond field slowly depleting, and by 1954 the area had dried up and the town was abandoned to the elements. To this day, KOLMANSKOP is supposedly haunted by the ghosts of miners who died in the brutal heat of the desert. A TV crew for Destination Truth even locked themselves in the meat locker of the old butcher's shop, with them reporting weird whisperings in their ears. Very, very creepy.
At number 2, we have San Salvador. San Salvador is feared for an obvious reason. It has one of the highest homicide rates in the entire world. The majority of the killings come from the gangs there, creating fear through their use of violence. So in the country of El Salvador, which San Salvador is in, 4,000 murders occur a year on average. San Salvador happens to be where most take place. Downtown is said to be the worst. Gang members have access to military-style weapons like automatic guns and hand grenades, and they aren't afraid to use the weapons on businesses, restaurants, and buses to make their point. Buses are the most common since they want protection money from the bus companies. It is also said that shootouts aren't uncommon on the streets. Salvadorians may carry firearms, and many do, with arguments having the possibility of becoming violent quickly.
And finally, coming in at number 1, Kabul, Afghanistan. Kabul is the capital and largest city of Afghanistan, located in the eastern section of the country. According to estimates in 2019, the population of Kabul is around 4.1 million, making it the 75th largest city in the world. In the early 19th century, the British occupied the city. However, after establishing foreign relations, they were compelled to withdraw all forces from Afghanistan. The city was then occupied by the Soviets in 1979, but they too abandoned it after the 1988 Geneva Accords were signed signed. A civil war in the 1990s between various rebel groups destroyed much of the city, resulting in many casualties, and since 2001 the city has been continuously rebuilt. Kabul is known to be one of the most dangerous cities in the world and has been for some time now. It is still a war zone even though US troops are gradually being moved from the country. The city suffered heavily under a bombardment campaign between rival militias, which intensified during the summer of 1992. Due to its geographic location in a narrow valley, this made it an easy target from rockets fired by militias who base themselves in the surrounding mountains. As of 2014, the ANSF have been in charge of security in and around the city, with Kabul periodically being the scene of deadly attacks, specifically government employees, soldiers and ordinary civilians. Now, despite frequent terror attacks in the city mainly by the Taliban insurgents, the city continues to develop and was the 5th fastest growing city in the world as of 2012.
So alright, that was the top 10 most feared cities in the world, and thank you for joining me, Lucy.
You're welcome, it was okay.
So make sure to check out Top 5 Scary and BTS, and do you want to repeat again what you have going on over there?
If you want to join us on Top 5, we have all things horror, and on Top 10 beyond the screen we have movies, celebrity, Hollywood, everything you need. Come join us.
Yes, join them. So if you like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I've been Abby.
I've been Lucy.
And until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.
And the center of the metropolitan region of Caracas. And the metropolitan... and then click over here. Particularly Caracas. No shade, just facts.
And because of that reason, Salem had a lot of fear going on. That's it. So yes, Lucy's joining us for today's video, Top 5 Most Feared Cities. I'm done. Okay.
However, you guys have this. Stop it. KOLMANSKOP is a ghost town in you. Coming in at 5. I was gonna say Karachi. You. Karachi.
Yes. It took you so long.
KOLMANSKOP is a ghost town in the my god, I can't say it.
Lucy. Scroll back. To military style weapons like automatic guns, wow.